Hi, this is our early morning take two hackathon presentation. I did a really good take, but I forgot to record my desktop. I only recorded one window and it was a problem. But anyway, we have a vaccine model that we made for the MCIT Hackathon. We tried to do a machine learning model on data released by Philadelphia on the schedule of vaccines. So we're going to try to predict when we're going to hit herd immunity based on vaccines in Philadelphia. And I'll explain those numbers as we go. But here's the raw data. So we only have like 30 data points because we've only had vaccines for like 30 days. And that's not a lot. But we did make a model that tries to train on this data, and it should get better and better with time as we get more data points. But it seems pretty reasonable right now. Here's our dependent variable. We're going to try to predict this based off of the other variables in here, except for this one. This one's another dependent variable that we just drop from the pandas data frames when we use it. So we're trying to predict this from the total days since first vaccination, yesterday's previous total, and when we get to after the predictions, we use our previous predictions to predict future predictions, if that makes sense. We also have a 7-day average and the last same day of the week. So with COVID tests, a lot of these things slow down on weekends or there's day of the week effects. And you actually see a big spike on Mondays too. So you get a bunch of weird artifacts based off of data reporting and also administration by day of the week. So we try to account that by supplying these extra data points to our model. So here's our actual model, woohoo. We're going to import everything from scikit-learn and such. We're going to read our data, and we're going to split our data into the training data and the test data, which we already did because we split it 80-20, and we put them on different sheets. So 80% we're going to train on, and then 20% we're going to test on. So that's what we did all here. Yeah. Then we're going to scale everything. You can see here's the scaling. Yeah. And then we're in the model. Now, for predicting the next day, it gets an R2 score of about 87, which is okay. And so after we get there, we try to predict each day up until herd immunity, which we think will be about 50% of Philadelphia. So we predict the number of vaccines each day. So if you want to check, if you're grading this in the later part of the week, you can check off of Philly Vax, which I believe is, it's a Slack window. No. I should have had this prepared. Yes, here it is. Vaccines data. So we only had data up until 1:14 this weekend. So that's why the predictions start at 1:15. But if you want to check our work and see how terrible it is or good it is, go to this URL. And you can see how well it shapes up with reality. Cool. So we think that half of Philadelphia will be vaccinated about 120 days from the first vaccination, which is about April 1st. And that's comparable to what the CDC kind of thinks will happen. They think that we'll have 1 million vaccines a day starting on January 1st, which is not true. We've only had like 800,000 vaccines a day since then. But that's what they predict. Maybe it'll average out. And that's what our model says. I think it'll probably become a little less optimistic as we get more data points. But we'll see. So yeah, that's the COVID-19 Philadelphia vaccine projections. Hooray.